things which is lying here, which we have to kind of discuss. So here, when the hurling of the abuses from Hiranaksha is coming, and whenever these abuses come, most of the time you get unsettled, right? When you get unsettled, you really leave the work. You basically leave the hot potato in your hand and try to move on to do something else. So that's the characteristic. So there is a tremendous amount of lesson which is there in this words, which we have to imbibe. So Hiranyaksha is hurling abuses at Varahadev, and Varahadev is trying to protect Mother Earth from sinking in the Garbhodaka ocean by keeping her afloat through the tusks, so that the Earth can uh, reside in a more balanced way, as you can see from the tusk. And at that time, when Varahadev is protecting Mother Earth more as a duty bound, because he's the protector of the universe, this person, this demoniac person, is hurling abuses. So this demoniac person is trying to get the focus of the subject in this matter, Barhadev, out of the context and trying to ruffle him by saying, you are such a coward and you are a shameless person. And he uses the word shameless in this context. He uses the word gata hriyam, for those who are shameless. So he's using the word with a hurling of the abuses. And then, but at the same time, Varahadev is tolerating a demon. So something we have to think about is how to tolerate in this world. Well, there are so many different forces in play. And the second thing Varahadev is trying to do is he's teaching us a lesson by saying he's focused in saving the earth. When he is trying to save the earth, he's duty bound. When he's duty bound, this little hurling of the abuses from Hiranyaksha is not making him fearful. So Hiranyaksha was violently challenging Lord Varaha with elusive words when Varahadev was rescuing Mother Earth from sinking from Garbhodaka ocean. So Varahadev is duty bound in this context. So when somebody is duty bound, he is so focused that he is not perturbed by this hurling of the abuses. So this is where many times you'll realize that there'll be somebody who is trying to go under your skin and trying to, give you that element of creation of anger in you so that you deviate. And this is a very common principle used in sports where, somebody will hurl some sledging, and hearing the sledging, the person will end up doing a mistake. Or sometimes when the cricket is going on, there'll be somebody who will be trying to hurl a bouncer with a thinking that the person will get perturbed. But actually, a person who is focused, who is duty bound, he has nothing to fear, which is exactly how Varahadev is behaving. Varahadev is listening to the abuse. There is a time, it's more like whenever you're focused on something and you have the priority in your mind that is more important than something else, then you need not worry about the other thing. The other thing, the time will come, and there will be time for recourse when the fight is about to begin. And at the time, it's going to be decided who is winning or who is losing. But at this time, trying to respond or react to Hiranyaksha, and leaving Mother Earth would be suicidal. So Lord Varahadev is giving us so many wonderful lessons here as to how to tolerate when you are duty bound, how to not fear. Because a person who is duty bound need not fear about this little issues here and there, because a time to fight is going to come. And this is where we have to um, think about the nectar of instructions verse, vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jivha vegam udaropastha vegam. That means we have to recognize our urge to speak, how to control our urge to speak, how not to speak anything we want, how we have to control so that when we speak something which can feel very derogative for somebody else, and somebody else is on the verge of doing a service, and how that is going to affect the service is something, because not everybody is at the level of focus as Varahadev. And in this age where there is so many things being spoken and so many decisions are being made, we have to recognize how to control. But at the same time, in the other side, when something is being thrown at you, something is being spoken to you, then how to stay focused with the duty boundness so that we do not stay aside and not do the service at hand and undermine the service. We can always come back and respond to that verbal uh, volley which is thrown at us. But at this time, Varadev is giving us an example where when he is duty bound, he need not fear. He just tolerating, and gradually, as you can see in the second picture, the fight emerges, and eventually Hiranyaksha is taken to task. But here Varahadev is giving a very strong life lesson that even if there is hurling of abuses happening, if you're duty bound, there is nothing to fear, which is exactly what Varahadev is destined to do at the time. The first thing first, he saved Mother Earth from sinking in Garbhodaka Ocean, and then eventually staying back, he goes on to fight and kill this dangerous demon from the signal of the earth, and he is taken care once and for all. But so in this verse, so what we have to recognize is how to identify priorities while duty bound and how to tolerate. So as you know, there are Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnam Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vivaga. So that means based on our guna and karma, we have been given or assigned some tasks based on the varna, based on the ashrama we are in. So based on where our we are placed in terms of goodness, passion, ignorance, and where we are in the stage of the life we are in, the form of whether we are a brahmacharya or grihastha, vanaprastha, or sannyas. So based on the varna and ashram we are located, uh, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has created, not by virtue of our birth, but by virtue of our guna and karma. He has divided the society, and there are some prescribed duties assigned to it. And as when we are prescribed duties are not taken care, and we're indulging in something else, responding to somebody else's news and views, then the problem tends to come, which is where we have to recognize what is expected of us as a householder in our house, as a parent, as a father, as a co-worker, as a servitor in the temple, or wherever we have certain prescribed duties. What are the prescribed duties, and how we should prioritize the prescribed duty so that when a challenging situation comes and we are let down through complicated things, because there are complicated situations which will arise all the time, because uh, this world is not a simple place. It's a very complicated place, and during the complications, a lot of challenges will come to us. There'll be people who are not favorable, and they will not help us in completing our service. They will create problems for us, and at the time, what we should do, should we just leave the task at hand and react to the person who is saying things which are not favorable to us, or should we just do our duty in a proper fashion without sort of reacting to the person and how we should tolerate. So this is a wonderful life lesson Varahadev is giving us. So we have to respond to a situation and never react. And there are many examples from the scriptures where Krishna goes on to tell us about how to respond and how not to react. So after Kamsa, who is the son-in-law of Jarasandha, who was the king of Magad, when he realized that his son-in-law Kamsa is killed by King Krishna, he became very angry. And Magad, as you know, is very close to Mathura or Vrindavan. And he attacked many times to Mathura, and he kind of ransacked Mathura. And because of Krishna's presence in Mathura, he attacked. And when he attacked, he uh, in addition to Krishna, many others, many uh, silent observers were suffering because they were getting killed or they were getting tortured by Jarasandha. So, uh, and Jarasandha was very angry because Krishna killed Kamsa, who is his son-in-law. So he attacked many times, actually. Whenever he used to attack, he used to kill a lot of people, he used to ransack. So a time came when Lord Krishna realized that whatever I end up doing, this person is going to always create problems for the Vrindavan Vasis or Mathura Vasis. So what he decided, he spoke to his upper generation, and after that they decided that if I leave this war, if I leave this place and we recreate our area of dominance in a different place, at least because of the distance, Jarasandha is not going to attack. So they created a new uh, you know kingdom, a place, all of a sudden in uh, in uh, in the western side, where in near Dwarka. And when Jarasandha attacked, subsequently there was absolutely no one in Mathura. And for that, it was Lord Krishna knew that he would be known as Ranchor because he ran away from the fight. But for the betterment of the society, for the betterment of Vrindavan Vasis, he left Mathura to Dwarka, and he lived in Dwarka, even if he loved in this pastime, especially. And there are other aspects to it about Krishna never left Vrindavan. That's another aspect of discussion. But in this context, Krishna left Mathura and Vrindavan, and from there he got a bad name. But for the betterment of the people he loved, he doesn't mind being uttered as Ranchur just because he ran away from the war from Jarasandha. And mm, uh, and uh, and this is example where Lord Krishna, uh, duty bound, he has nothing to fear just because he will be called a different name. He didn't bother. He tolerated the the abuse, and he just changed course, and that turned out to be a lesson that it doesn't matter who calls, but if it is for a bigger purpose of life, if it is for a bigger cause, then it really doesn't matter whether uh, somebody is called X or Y. So in this age, there will be so many challenges. And yesterday we heard about Sisupal, who was hurling abuses at Krishna, and Krishna had promised that he will receive 100, and the time it became 101 when the century was hit by Shishupal. Krishna hit the century by killing Shishupal through the Sudarshan Chakra. So here, by tolerating, by becoming duty bound, it is not a hallmark of a coward person. It is the hallmark of a very strategically strong person who can lead the fight strategically and not be reactive in the situations, which is how we should all take it in our life, in our work, in our office, in our temples, or wherever. There will be so many challenges, but it's how we respond to the challenge, which paves the way for us to be successful, or and not react in a way which gives a very wrong impression about the Vaishnav Sadachar, or the attitude of a devotee, and that really makes us. So these are the topics which makes us a better devotee, a better human being in our pursuit of our sadhana, or in our workplace, or wherever it is. These are all life lessons which will go a long way. And here Varadev is not perturbed with the abuse, and come next couple of verses, there will be a big fight which is going to emerge. But here Varadev is giving a very beautiful lesson, that even if he's being hurled with abuses after abuses, and by Hiranyaksha, he's using all kind of words like shameless, reproachable, and very abusive situation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is giving us an example by saying there is nothing to fear. As long as a person, as La Prabhupada is taking a step further in explaining that a person who is conscious of his duty, a person who is Krishna consciousness, he is aware of his duty, and dutiful man has nothing to fear, and which is exactly exemplified by Barahadev. And there we have to tolerate. If we don't know how to tolerate, we have to learn how to tolerate, because if you end up um, Jiva Begum, if you end up uttering whatever we want, exactly like how a frog in a well, through the cloaking, he invites the snake to come and eat him. Likewise, if you cloak a lot, there'll be this material snakes which are going to come and eat us. So this is very important as to how to control our jiva in such a way that we don't be abusive. And even if we are abusive, here Varadev is trying to explain how to be tolerant, and if we are not tolerant enough, then we have to learn how to be tolerant. And there, that is, this is exactly where it's a perfect segue to the duties we have to perform. And there are several duties in the Varnashram. Gunakarma Vivagasa is explained, but in Bhagavad Gita there is tremendous amount of emphasis on prescribed actions, not really duties. The actions comes from duties. So Bhagavad Gita talks about how to become tolerant, and how to follow one's religious principles, and how one should protect our honor and reputation. It talks about how to be single-minded, and how to transcend the three modes of material nature by chanting the holy name with a very focused mind, and stay as long as the mode of goodness we can. We shouldn't be attached to one's actions, and we should be always in a yoga platform by trying to always work towards the betterment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his associates, and become free from material world by becoming detached, and staying more attached to the Krishna consciousness movement. And we should all work towards the satisfaction of the Lord. We should have actions. We should be in line with our Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra. And we should come from a parampara, and we should try to attain peace in this world. We should uh, and assist in and try to be seeking successful work. And we should all be yogi in our own way by trying to take a uh, inspiration from the scriptures. We should try to balance between spiritual and material, have a clear understanding of different paths, engage our mind in supreme. We should be dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by giving service, give charity in temple with Govardhan Puja coming, give as much charity as possible. We should, certain acts, we should never give up the principles, respect elders, engage uh, in service, perform bhakti, and follow the four pillars of dharma, which is the compassion, austerity, truthfulness, cleanliness, which is exactly the four guiding principles you end up taking vows to, and disseminate message of Krishna. And these are actions which stem from our duties, and duties can be multifaceted based on Varnashram Dharma, as Lord Krishna has explained, or from the teachings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So very profound verse where Varahadev is saying there's nothing to fear if somebody is hurling abuses, as long as we are duty bound, and how to be tolerant at the face of a crisis and never react and always respond. So with that, we can go on and on, but wonderful life lessons to start the weekend and the festivities. So I'd like to end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Hema Jagannath. We'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day and weekend ahead. A weekend of a lot of festivities starting from today itself. Today is Ekadasi, minimally fasting from grains and beans and increasing our Krishna consciousness. We'll have Ekadasi Kirtan in the evening from 7 to 9 p.m. It's also the beginning of the 5-day Diwali festival. Normally Diwali is celebrated, Festival of Lights, for 5 days. And that begins with Ekadasi. Ekadasi, then tomorrow, which is Vakbaras, but this year there is a combination of some tithis. So it's also Vakbaras and then Dhanteras. That's also that tomorrow, worshipping Mother Lakshmi with a concert, Lord Narayan. That's tomorrow also. So there's some Murat time from 7:12 to 8:45 in the evening tomorrow. Those who do that worship. And then day after tomorrow, that Sunday, we will be celebrating Govardhan Puja, the 3rd day of Diwali festival. And Govardhan Puja is celebrated, is also known as a festival of food. It's celebrated by bringing lots of food for Govardhan. And Govardhan being non-different than Lord Krishna. So that's directly worshipping Lord Krishna in that way. Giri Govardhan. So that's on Sunday. Our festivity will start from 5 p.m. with Kirtan and Aarti and Katha on Govardhan Puja and a lot of Ankut preparation and honoring of Prasad on that day. Also, it's also with worship of Govardhan is also worship of cow, Go Puja. So, yeah, if you get a chance, if you're not doing service at the temple, you can go to a farm at Yash, some farm in Hillsborough, which we went last year. You can worship cow there or think about the cow and do some donation towards Go Puja, either Gita Nagari or India or wherever we can. and get our special incense made from cow dung, which we shifted from using regular incense to that incense for our altar. But I would also suggest that all of you should also shift to that. If you're not, it's quite sanctifying. And that way, we'll also have worship of cow right next to you by using Gau Puja incense and using cow products rather. Monday is Diwali, and actually our Golden Puja is Tuesday. It's also New Year for many, including me. So that's on Tuesday. So lots of festivities, lots of service. If you like to get engaged in any other service, please let us know. We can engage you in different services for the service of the Supreme Lord. Are there any questions on service, on logistics?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Go Puja will be on Sunday?
Golden Puja is on Sunday, yes.
Okay.
Didn't know much. I thought we sent out invitations, right?
No, not about that, Prabhuji. You mentioned like you can go to a farm and just go puja and all that.
Well,
that we have to do.
That was separate. Those who can go or think about it, right? That's what I'm mentioning. We are not doing any. Lots of service at the temple. We'll be focusing on serving in the temple.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? I think our festival cooking coordinator is still in India, so we are also cooking. The second Sunday cooking team is cooking this Sunday. And so lots of cooking help is also needed on both starting from Saturday and Sunday, both.
What time are we starting, Prabhu?
Saturday, Puri making is going to happen on Saturday. Gayatri Mataji, my Bhabi, is leading that Puri making starting at 1 p.m. We'll have our special Diwali Fest special Govindas also going on at that time. And then on Sunday, we'll start with the list. 9 p.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. we'll start. Cooking, basic thing, and at the same time, using the same elements. If you want to cook more items, you can cook right there for the Lord. Like Jayaprakash Prabhu would normally cook along with his cooking 70, 80 items. So, if you all are there, we can also cook. Yeah. Is that good, Amrita Uncle?
Yeah, Prabhu, thanks. So tonight, Puri making, and tomorrow.
No, not tonight.
Tomorrow. And then on Sunday, 9 a.m., we'll start the feast cooking.
And not tomorrow evening. It will start at 1 p.m. because there's many.
Okay.
Many are doing this Dhanteras Puja, so that the Murat is from 7:12 to 8:45, so they will have to go back home.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, on that note, we'll offer prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Narsingho, Jai Narsingho, Jai Jai Narsingho, Praladesha, Jaya Padma, Kapadma Bhingam,
Padma Mukha Padma Pringa.
Ugra Veera Mahavishnu,
Mahavishnu
Jalantam
Jalantam
Sarvam,
Sarvatomukha
Narsingam Vishnam
Krishna
Bhadram,
Vishnu Matam
Nityam
Nityam Nityam
Namamyam,
Namami
Narsingh Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Lord Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Haribo.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Assamar Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhaya patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavinda ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Hema Jagannath.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.